Like, share, subscribe, hit the super on the way in. Ooh, they talking. Oh, they're talking, right? So when Mr. Z says, let them talk, and the internet will expose us all, I'm not only speaking about black women, people. I'm saying the internet will expose us all, right? So, um, let's be very clear. We're covering today Mr. Tim Gurner. Yes, that's the guy that brought you, millennials are spending their money on avocado toast. That's why they can't afford homes. Yeah, that guy. Australian. So we got an Australian bad guy today. We have an Australian one of these Rupert Murdoch types, the muhahahas, right? Shout out to Sarge Willie Pete. This is a real muhahaha, right? And he's saying the quiet part out loud, right? In other words, choke them out, make them tap out, right? He's telling the workers to get down and lay down. And what's the rest of that statement? If you lay down, you're going to stay down, right? So, Mr. Tim Gurner says the quiet part out loud and says, we pretty much got to hurt the worker. We have to raise unemployment. We got to see unemployment go up to 40, 50%, so that the workers who it seems Mr. Gurner sees as acting uppity currently, so that the worker feels the pain. We need the workers to feel the pain. We need them to know who's boss. And that's if you watch the clip, right? That's essentially what he's saying. The workers need to know who's boss. They're walking around here like we need them. We need to raise we need to raise unemployment, 40, 50%. So these people know who's boss, right? So they know who's things, right? So and much of this as a response, also, you can watch this in the clip. This is his response to people not going back to work so early after COVID lockdowns, right? This is his response. Jobs are opening up. They still want to pay you pennies, right? They still want to treat you like crap. And many people spent COVID time reevaluating their life, what they're doing, how much they're earning, how little they're earning, the lack of benefits. And so some people stayed home for a little bit longer than people like Mr. Gurner think that you should have stayed home for. And so his remedy for you going back to work or finding another job, but acting like you have some goddamn self-esteem, his resolution is to mass let go about 40 or 50% of the workforce. That way you're desperate at your jobs, right? What did George Carlin say? Right? The poor there just to keep the middle class going back to those jobs. Well, there you go. Right? Well, there you go. And shout out to Dr. Thunder. Where's the bootstrap bros right now? Where y'all at? Right? Where are all the pull yourself up by the bootstrap guys? But it's not just you. Where are you divestors and swirlers? But you think this won't affect black people? Right? You think this not gonna affect black women? Y'all looking for all the baller dudes. You think this won't affect black men? Right? See, this is what your bootstrap bros won't cover. Your swirlers and your divestors, oh no, they're not covering this. Your black women in luxury, right? Your hypergamy, Chrissy ain't gonna cover this. Right? Too busy calling black men colorists. Cynthia G ain't gonna cover this. Shoot, even Kim Foster won't cover this. Right? This man literally sit up there and said, yeah, y'all gotta feel the pain. We gotta make y'all feel the pain. Y'all getting a little too uppity out here. Y'all think y'all run things. Right? So Mr. Z always knew, I always knew since a kid, even as a kid, I knew this market thing, the market wasn't this amorphous, obscure, kind of cryptic thing that nobody could control, right? Nobody could control the market. It's this kind of amorphous thing that does its own thing. It has a mind of its own, and it just reacts and responds to, events day by day. I always knew that was crap. As a child, I knew that was crap. And here's an example that these people do use the market and interest rates, and they do know what buttons to press, what levers to pull, what knobs, everything, right? Switches. They know all of the mechanisms they need to use to move the market in certain ways. And that's what this guy is essentially telling everyone. He's saying it. Oh yeah, we know how to make you feel hurt. Right? We know how to make you feel hurt. And yes, he's Australian, but Jerome Powell said the same thing, and that's your head of the Fed, the Federal Reserve, right? He said similar. We need to raise these interest rates. People need to get unemployed. Oh yeah. Too many of us, and this is like classic, I'm getting into my lefty bag. This is like classic talk. Like they need people, and this is where black people come in, by the way. They need a reserve pool of labor. They need a reserve pool of labor, because if everyone's working, and if too many companies need you to work, and they need certain type of employees, guess what? You have the power and the leverage in that case. Right? And guess what? Not only that, just as a worker, you could be storing some of those peanuts away to start your own thing eventually and compete with them possibly. Right? They're literally saying we need people desperate. We need people desperate. This is what it's about. This is always what it's been about. Right? This is what it's about. This is what it's always. So Tim Gurner, Australian, looked like he owned his own. He helps to build, luxury apartments and whatnot. Over here saying the quiet part out loud. These people ain't desperate enough. We need them desperate. We need them hurting. Right? And they know they're not paying y'all nothing in these crap jobs. Right? They know they're not paying you anything in these crap jobs. And so they need you desperate, so you have no choice but to accept these crap wages. And we noticed that also because they have to show their hand post-COVID, right after COVID. All of a sudden, your McDonald's employee who couldn't negotiate more than $8 an hour walking in the door, no matter what he or she did, $8.50, $7.50, $7.75. All of a sudden, McDonald's is telling you, "Oh, you walk in the door, we're paying 11, we're paying 13." All of a sudden, 18 months, they went from $7.50, $7.75, $8 to 11 and 13 bucks walking in the door in 18 months. Wow. Right? But this shows you who these people are. These are, once again, shout out to Sarge Willie Pete. These are the Muhaha people. Yes, they are. These are the Muhaha people. Right? So when you speak to these people and they tell you, "Oh, people don't want to go back to work," y'all remember that right after COVID, post-COVID? Oh, these people don't want to go back to work because they're getting too much money from the government. And you had small business owners saying this crap. Well, the elites, the Muaha, mainly white guys, Shout out to all you shorters and divestors. Y'all want to marry the most evil people on the face of the earth just so you can have some status in the society. I said it, right? So the elites, the white elite men said, "Oh yeah, we need to start raising interest rates. Too many of these people are employed now. They feel it and look into uppity, right? These people think they run things. Oh, we got to show them. They think they run this. You know, I've covered something like this similar with the professor from Italy who told us about, you know, how austerity is really used, right? How they really use austerity and busting up of unions and, you know, how they use that to discipline your average worker. Yes, you heard right. Discipline you, right? Yeah, that's what it's about. You know, I said it. Let them talk. I wasn't just talking about black women, right? The internet will expose us all. I wasn't just talking about black people, black women. See, in a different world, if this was 25 years ago, maybe a handful of us would have heard of this if our uncle or our father reads the newspaper, or maybe we read the newspaper, and you would have just came up on this quote. Maybe, right? If you're lucky or unlucky, right? But no, they're saying the quiet part out loud, and because we live in the internet age, we get to see it, we get to hear it, right? Somebody's recording, and he just straight up says it, and he said, you know, as you can see, he has no qualms about saying it, none, right? He said it bold. He said it with his chest. Say it with your chest. He did, right? Oh boy, we're in dead zone land. We're in dead zone land. Okay, everyone. I don't know if I'm gonna maybe get knocked off, but I have to go down a road that usually I get kicked off. Let's see how long you guys can hear me, you ladies and gents. Let's see. Uh, Unfortunately, yeah. Let's see. Right. So this is the real. This is what everyday people are living. Right. This is not about birth. This who are on stage bus and taught a lesson by being crushed, and then using the motion, using the market to discipline, using interest rates to discipline, using austerity to discipline, right? That's what we're witnessing here. And yet we also have the bootstrap bros. We have all of these, you know, scammers and schemers and playing on your ego. And well, oh yeah, so I am borking. Oh boy. Right. Okay, everyone, y'all bear with me, bear with me. I am borking. Okay. All right, everyone, give me a minute. Okay, I don't know when you guys can hear me. Y'all let me know. Y'all press one. All right, all right. Okay, I thought I was. Okay, yeah, yeah. And then Coven man says, he was on that air, that Ayn Rand type libertarianism, and that's all it is, right? And by the way, some of your favorite politicians, the Paul Ryans of the world, right? I know he's no longer in Congress, et cetera, but yeah, fans of Ayn Rand, fans of Ayn Rand. By the way, this is also, yes, this is Atlas Shrugged. This is literally Atlas Shrugged. Oh, you think you run things? Y'all are too dumb, right? Y'all are too dumb. Y'all don't run things. Let me show you who run things by leaving the city and breaking stuff on my way out the door, right? Let me show you who run things by leaving you and you dummies and you dumb politicians that want to do for poor people. Let me show you who run things by breaking things on the way out the door, so no one knows what to do because I'm the big smart one, right? So yeah, so Tim Gurner says this, and I definitely had to bring this to y'all today. Y'all know Mr. Z had to cover this because this does affect this type of mindset affects your everyday person, and the vast majority of us, like it or not, are just everyday people, somewhere between $35,000 a year to about 60, right? Once again, 2/3 of men. Remember, men earn more than women. That includes even in the black community. Black men earn more than black women. 2/3 of men never earn more than $65,000 a year, right? So if 2/3 of men never earn more than $65,000 a year, and the number is even higher for women, and the number is even higher for black people of people that never earn, more than $65,000 a year, that means your CEO thinking like this about you does affect you. Dear swellers and divestors, and level up women, and hypergamous women, and whatever. This is the real. Dear bootstrap bros, this is the real, right? All these Negroes not on my level type talk. Yawn, right? These are the people that have outsized power in this society. People like this. And it's funny because when you listen to people speak, they often give you the impression, oh no, people like this don't exist. They don't think like this. They're just all profit driven. This is a perfect example that this is not just about money, it's about power. Right? This is a prime example that this is not just about money, it's about power. Right? Because this man is already worth some $500 million. Money is not his issue. He need to flex power on you so you know your place. And he's not the only one who thinks like that. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. He is not the only one who thinks like that. He said that. Oh man. Right. So I gave y'all 3 different links to check out so y'all could see But yeah, they said that, right? And as a matter of fact, what's her name on counterpoints? She is right of center also. So but yeah, they said that part. He said that. He said the quiet part out loud. He meant it. And now what? Right? Now to Z, things like this should be illegal. Now he is not American, right? He's Australian. He's based out of Australia, right? Another one of these Rupert Murdoch types, right? But to me, if you're actively saying, "Oh, we're not employed," we need to show them who's boss. We need to show them who runs things. They need to know. They're walking around here uppity, they asking for raises, right? Millennials, they're talking about work-life balance, right? And having dignity at work. Dignity at work. If you don't try to start your own business, or if you have a good idea, we could buy you out or choke you out, right? If you don't go try to start your own business so that you could be back in the workforce in a year and a half because it never got off the ground, yeah, that's one of these guys, right? That's one of these guys. We got to be careful with these people. When you work for these people, when you're around these people, for some of you chisel chin brothers, when you dating these people's daughters, right? But yeah, it's good to know that they are who we thought they were, right? They are who we thought they were. People kept on talking to you like you were crazy, like you didn't know what you were talking about. Like these people really aren't who they really are. This guy is the evil baddie, the evil bad guy at the end of a movie. He's the evil villain at the end of like an Austin Powers movie, right? $1 billion, like that's him, and he's a CEO, and he's already halfway, more than halfway up to $1 billion in Australia. And you get enough of these people that agree on something, do you understand what they could do to the market? Maybe not so much in America. Maybe they can't touch the market in America coming from Australia, but you have enough CEOs in America that think like this, which they do, and they agree on certain things. And wait a minute, what's going on with the economy, right? Okay, all right, yeah, okay, all right. And we'll pause right here for a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. We'll pause right here for a second. You think you run things. We'll pause right here again, y'all. We'll pause right here again. And T says, you realize he's just saying what the Fed's been saying. This is how the business cycle works in Keynesian economics. Yeah, no. So I said that actually. I did say that earlier, right? And yes, the Feds have been saying that, right? And T said, LOL, this is funny. Why the media acting like this is some secret? Why wouldn't they? Right? Would you expect these people to actually be honest and say, hey, by the way, you do know that we want our daughters to be married to the people that like this guy, right? Thank you. Right? Would you expect them to say that? Right? You expect them to admit that, hey, these are the people that our children graduate college and university with. These are our sons' best friends in college and university. This is why we sent our sons to those exclusive colleges and universities, because we wanted them to rub elbows with guys like this so that they could get jobs and start their careers with guys like this, right? And we want our daughters to marry guys like this, right? So of course they're not going to, the news anchors and the pundits are not going to tell you nothing like that. And they swear. Not only that, when you speak to them, they'll look at you like you're being hyperbolic. Like, oh, okay, Z, it's not that serious. Look, the economy just responds. The market just responds to some of the things that some of the things that we say or do. But it's not like it's being controlled or anything, right? Yeah, that's what they're on. I agree with you, T. By the way. But you can't expect these the news anchors and the pundits and all these other things, the media. Oh yeah, the media, the reporters want these men, or they want their daughters to be married to these men, and they want their sons to be friends with these men, because this guy is worth $500 million. He looks like he's middle aged. He's middle aged. He looks like an Xer. He's worth $500 million. It's very possible that he could reach $1 billion in his life. They want their sons to work for this guy. They want their daughters to be married to this guy. Right? The pasta and the Popeyes. What's going on, Bruce Owen Wayne? Look, I don't like being called out, right? And by the way, Bruce Owen Wayne, the other day, he said, "Move matin," right? And I said move. And I was like, hey, later on, Bruce, I was like, what the hell did I just say? And by the way, move means like aggressive, right? It's more like aggressive, right? Than mad. That's the closest. The more direct translation would be more aggressive than mad, right? And like I promise you, sometimes I listen to the playback so I could be like, Z, you could have, you was being a mad loud there or whatever, and I kind of take notes of ways to say things more smoothly or not, get stumble over my words and whatnot. I don't know how good of a job I'm doing at that, but and yeah, so I listened and I was like, what? Right? So yeah, but yeah, we gotta cover stories like this. Yes, even in the Black Manosphere, right? Shout out to the Black Brain Trust. Shout out to the Code Breakers, right? Like, shout out to the people that cover stuff like this. I know Media Man is not officially part of the Black Manosphere, but like, shout out to Media Man. Things like this need to be covered. Shout out to Sarge Willie Pete. Sarge Willie Pete, here go one for you, right? Here go one for you, Sarge Willie Pete. I think Sarge Willie Pete will have a field day for this. With this, I think Edward Anderson and BGS would have a field day with this also, right? Dr. Green Gorilla would have a field day with this also, right? But this is the real. This is the guy saying the quiet part out loud. And T, that's all I'm saying is he's saying the quiet part out loud because it's never supposed to be actually confirmed, right? That's the problem. People are supposed to speculate. People are supposed to, excuse me, suspect it, but they're never actually supposed to have it confirmed that CEOs think like this, the head honchos think like this, the boss hogs think like this. Not only do they think like this, they talk like this. Not only do they talk like this, they move like this. That's the problem. Not for us. People like Z love the fact that they're saying it out loud. If you follow my channel, T, I've been saying stuff like this for the longest. I've been saying this on other people's channels for the longest. Right? My subscribers are like, oh, okay. Oh, they finally actually saying it out loud. Right? But I'm covering it for anyone that's under the impression, right, that the elites, especially the elite white dudes, don't think and talk like this. And listen to him talk now. Now, I think was it Trail in the comments that said, the nerve of him to want 40-50%, like what would that do to the economy? But like, obviously it wouldn't be something that egregious, or at least most likely it wouldn't be something that egregious, right? I do think he was being hyperbolic on the statement, but the point still stands, right? Okay, and Bruce always says move means angry, right? So I always read it as more aggressive than angry, but you see me struggling to read my Creole, so I will go with you. I will say you're probably the better expert on this, right? I'm no expert at all, better yet. So yeah, right. But yeah, the honesty is it is what it is, right? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm being excuse my language. I'm being a whole dick to this lady right now because I had to merge because these cones popped up where I had to merge and she didn't let me merge and now she need to merge and and my car is way faster than hers, so there's no way. Oh man, right? And Detroit, you see what I'm saying? They talking about pain, bro, pain. And you see what I'm saying? Oro, this is a great comment. Oro says, think about that a minute. Blacks forced to pat their oppressors and pay for their stolen properties throughout per, throughout perpetuity to the criminals that stole it from their ancestors, bro. You know? And he said pain. He said it. He said it. All right? His words. So they're just, do you understand like how blatant this is? And that's my point, T. Like the blatant, it's so blatant. This is you know what it is too? It's like you know how in movies the bad guy gotta tell you his whole plan. Like in real life, that's not how it happened. In real life, you just end up dead. The bad guy captures you, he murks you, and that's it. See you in the next life, right? But in movies, they got to tell you their whole plan. Yeah, it was my plan to capture. And Austin Powers does a really good job at like making fun of this type of stuff, right? But this guy actually is saying it. He's actually saying it. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. They're saying the quiet part out loud. He actually said it, right? He actually said it. Oh my God. Right? So that's why we're covering this today. And it's important, by the way. It's important that they say the quiet part out loud. First, it shows a level of being comfortable with the environment, right? See, if you're not so comfortable, if you're not so sure, if you're unsure of yourself, you may not say things like this. You think it, you'll feel it, or maybe you even say it, but you say it amongst your circle, you know, in those smoke-filled rooms when you're smoking cigars and y'all planning how you're going to screw over the average laborer, but you wouldn't say it on stage, right? But also why it's important that he says it, and he says it this blatantly, right? He doesn't hide behind euphemisms and et cetera, et cetera. It's so that you can show the other average people like, okay, yeah, now what? Right? Now what? And Better You, and remember, Better You's doing pretty good in life. And Better You says capitalism is going to save us how again? Right? My point exactly, Better You. Right? My point exactly. Right? But guys like this, you know, these are the guys that you kind of want to sit down with because they're going to tell you straight up, oh yeah, no, we use the market to screw y'all. Oh yeah. Why wouldn't we? Y'all didn't know y'all place. Y'all over here walking around uppity and stuff, post-COVID, thinking you could flex something, talking about your rights, right? Like I said earlier, millennials over here talking about work-life balance. Remember, this is the guy that brought y'all avocado toast, by the way. This is the one that coined the whole millennials can't buy houses because they spending too much money on avocado toast, right? I said that earlier just in case for all the people that came in more recently. But yeah, that's this guy, Tim Gurner, right? And yes, he's Australian. He's based out of Australia. He's worth a little bit more than $500 million. But we cover this because this mentality right here, right? This mentality right here is how you get to kind of where we are now, right? Your people from the Federal Reserve talk like this. Uh-oh. It's not just your CEOs. The people in charge of the money quite literally talk like this. Right? And T says, Z, stop laughing at that woman, LOL. Look, she got her little Lexus RX. No, the NX. It was the NX. It was in the RX. She got her little Lexus NX. You know, that NX ain't keeping up with the Infinity. Look, right? And she was being a whole a-hole, right? And you know, they're working on the median, so they're clipping the hedges on the medians, and they put the cones way too late. So it's not like a gradual, you know, when the lane gradually merges. So I'm driving behind the car, you know, in front of me, and I'm paying attention to the road, but I just see the car in front of me just start merging. So I'm like, okay, I'm sure that something's going on up there the way that car is merging. So I'm getting prepared to merge. And the lady's far enough back to let me merge. She didn't let me merge. All right, that's nothing wrong with that. That's your prerogative. I understand. Guess what? Now you trying to merge. Uh-oh. Right? I'm just saying. And it was a white lady too? Pfft, all right. Right? And it was a white lady. I'm not obligated to you at all. Right? So, you know, we're covering this once again, and I'm gonna end out in a little bit. Um, because it's important. Because people like this help to dictate the environment that you are looking for work in. Right? That you're looking to move from one job to another job. Right? You're looking to close the chapter on this career and go somewhere else or do something else. And people like this are the ones that dictate the market price of whatever career, right? The starting income for whatever career. It's people like this. That's why we're covering it. Because people like this aren't nobodies. You may not know their names, but these are some of the insiders, right? Oh, Nuke, you should have never told me that. Oh, I got something to do now. And Nuke says, did you see the comments Tyler Perry made trying to tell black women to look beyond leveling up? No, I did not. Okay, he was on to something, but he started if by black women make more than black men. Uh-oh. Y'all should have never. We might have something to cover later on tonight, if not tomorrow morning. Right? I said black women being too loud. Hey, even Tyler Perry, who has a questionable sexual history. Uh-oh. We ain't gonna say that too loud. Tyler Perry can reach out and touch you, and maybe not even in that way. Ugh, yuck, yuck. Right? Even if Tyler Perry's saying something like, right? But let's read Big Kev's statement, and we're gonna end out in a minute. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Big Kev says there is no neoliberal, socialist / communist or feminist utopia that is coming to quote unquote save us, which is exactly why they keep shoving it in our faces, right? Good point. Y'all out here in the wilderness. Now let me tell you what I wanted to do to you. Borderline sounds like grape, don't it? Right? Don't it sound borderline like grape? You out here in the wilderness, player, and we did that on purpose. We made sure for the past few decades to strip the government of the mechanisms to protect you. Shout out to those of us that live and work to um worker that's not what the term I'm looking for. Um what's the term I'm looking for? Right to work states. There we go. At will states. Shout out to those of us that work in those states where your supervisor or your boss could come in and be like, I don't like Z's laces. You're fired, Z. Especially if you're not unionized. Oh, you live in a right to work state and you're not in a union? Pfft. Right? But yes. So shout out to Mr. Tim Gurner for saying the quiet part out loud. Right? By the way, this is kind of how Elon Musk thinks too. By the way, for all of you women who worship at the ground that Tesla's made on. Oh, I need me a Tesla, girl. Yeah. I'm not saying other CEOs don't think like this also from the car manufacturers, but Elon Musk thinks like this too. Right? D over here making jokes. Fired from the utility company because of that, but vote Republican. LOL. I thought I was in. Right? I will say I'm not gonna say the left probably doesn't have people like this, right? I think the right is just so much more blatant, but I think there's some lefties that are this quote unquote pragmatic, but in an evil way, right? Thoughtful, but in an evil way. These are the people that are tapping on their fingers on some muhaha thing, right? and they're thinking and they're thoughtful people, but all the ways they think are like ways to screw other people over, to consolidate more and more power, more and more wealth at the expense of others. These are the people that really push like survival of the fittest and Darwinism. These are those people, right? Like, do we believe, especially in the Black manosphere, in survival of the fittest? Yeah, for the most part, right? Do we want to smooth out some of those edges? Yeah, right. But once you let people like this start talking, this is how they sound. You let them talk long enough, and you're gonna end up in Auschwitz. I promise you, you're gonna end up in Auschwitz or Dachau. I promise you. You let people like this talk long enough, and you're gonna end up in a gas chamber. Thank you, Nuke. The technocrats, DNC elite. Yes. Right. And that's why Mr. Z doesn't. That's why there's certain terms y'all have never heard me use, and it's because I can't buy into it. Like that whole NPC thing, non-playable character thing. Like, you know how arrogant you have to. Like, that's when you start getting into like women's solipsism type level. To call other people non-playable characters, NPCs, which you think the universe revolves around you. Shout out to you, Elon Musk. We know how you used to look before the hair surgery, player, a whole mole rat. Right? The nerve of some of these people. Right? And RO says, if Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos were all black men, could they do what they do and have the power and influence they have? You already know the answer to that question. Honest answers only. That should tell you what you need to know. Bro, you already know. Thank you, D, at will employment. Thank you. Right. And on that note, we're going to end out. But I just wanted to bring this to y'all and kind of give my little 2 cents. I didn't even really rant. I was planning on ranting. Right. Trell gave us a new one. Trell says, protagonist paranoia. Yeah, look, these people are they're Sephiroth. Shout out to all my Final Fantasy VII heads. Right? Oh man. He said that. So, Mr. Tim Gurner, we hear you. We hear you. Thanks for having the balls to say it, right? The testes to say it, the testicles to say it, right? And you continue to, every once in a while, when you think you forgot about him for the third time. By the way, this is the guy that bought us the avocado toast, and millennials can't afford homes because they spending how much money on avocado toast, right? That's this guy, right? And he's not the only one who talks like this, because Jerome Powell of the Feds said something like this months ago, if not even a year ago at this point, maybe even longer, but yeah. Right? So we'll pause right here, truly. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Right? Mr. Z might, if y'all want somebody, put the link, even if it's a Twitter link, whatever, excuse me, put the link for the Tyler Perry in the comments for this. I'm going to try to look for it, but just in case I can't find it, we might be speaking about that later on tonight. I'll probably try to hurry up, jump in for a little bit, and get out to leave space for Art New Style. Shout out to the brother Art New Style. But yeah, Trell said he's the little guy, the little chubby guy on the Monopoly board. Right? No, Joe's put it in the comments after the stream, right? And thank you, Joe's, by the way. Thank you, Joe's. A whole megalomaniac. And, bro, all about power, bro. All about power. All about power. Shout out to Terrell again. And thank you, Joe's, right? And so we'll end out right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day, right? Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content like this, which, by the way, affects everyone. Definitely Black people, Black men, and Black women. That's why I said shout out to all you passport bros. Where y'all at? I said passport bros. Yeah, actually do shout out to all you passport bros. Don't go to Australia, apparently. But yeah, shout out to all you bootstrap bros. There we go. That's what Mr. Z was trying to say. And shout out to all you swirlers and divestors. Now what? Right? Now what? So the uber rich, and this is wealthy, right? You know, $500 million. He looks like an Xer, right? So let's say he have another 20 some odd 30 years of life left. He could definitely hit $1 billion, and he'll be one of the currently what 2,800, 2,900 billionaires on the planet, right? And he'll be one of them. Let's say by the time he hits $1 billion, it's like 3,000 billionaires, maybe 3,500, and he'll be one of those on a planet with over 8 billion people. 27, 2,800 billionaires. Yeah. Okay. On that note, like I said, y'all be careful when this is the CEO that you work for. This is your boss. When you walk in your boss's office, either white man or white woman, maybe even Black man or Black woman, hopefully not, right? And they talking like this, or they're watching stuff like this, right? And they're agreeing with this guy. Yeah. Right. And one last note. Fox News had a segment years ago, and it's when they said, 400 people it was 400 people. I don't think it was 400 families. 400 people have the same wealth as the bottom 50% or something like that. And or even maybe the bottom 90%, something along those lines. And the pundit that was there was like, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. This is motivational. And even the white lady on Fox News was like, okay, yeah, this is not good. Right? Like, even she was like, yeah, I don't like this. Like, I want to be, well, she was a Karen, like blonde, obviously, Fox News. But I don't know if I want it to be this egregious. Right? Like, I want them to know they're ants, but I don't need it to be this bad. Right? But, once again, ha, right? And on that note, everyone, we'll close out for real. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out. All right, everyone.